Jolan True, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and welcome to another evening officer video. And today it's one of the still very important PvP officers. But before I talk about Gul Dukat, if you're not a subscriber of my channel yet but do like my videos, then please do subscribe to my channel. And when you do, please also click this little bell and all notifications so you will be notified when another video comes out. Everybody will remember Gul Dukat from Deep Space Nine. Of course, in the info box we go in a second, there will be a text about Gul Dukat, but I just quickly want to go to the place that he was in charge of Terok Nor during the occupation of Bajor and until the end of the occupation, and later took back Deep Space Nine as Terok Nor with the Dominion, and then in the end worked for the Power Wraith and tried to release them, and he fell into the fire caves. And he's a guy I never liked. Although I'm playing my alliance is the Cardassian Union, and my in-game name is Gul as well. But Dukat is not one I'm very fond of in case of sympathy or something. But still, he's an epic officer and he's quite important for the game at the moment. He's class command, that means you need command badges to upgrade him. Here it says Group DS9. That's not in relation to its synergy in this case. And his faction Cardassian. Unfortunately, there is no real Cardassian faction here, which I think it's a pity that we only have the Federation, the Klingons and the Romulans. I would have wished that we also have the Cardassians and the Breen, and that we had a little bit more like that. That would be nice if they in time would introduce more of that. It's more reputation grinding, probably much more difficult because you lose on more factions when you gain more. But that would have been fun if the Cardassians were there as well. But nevertheless, the faction doesn't exist, and that means you need independent credits to upgrade him, which is a problem. But the group that's important for synergy is not DS9, that's the Interceptor Strike Team. And we come to that in a second. Because he does have a captain maneuver and an officer ability. His captain maneuver is Prefect of Bajor. And that means while on an interceptor fighting a player ship, at the start of a round, Gul Dukat has 20% chance to apply hull breach to it for 3 rounds. And you know, hull breach and interceptors is always a really good match. And his officer ability is Maniac Ambition. When shot while on an interceptor fighting a player ship with hull breach, Gul Dukat increases the number of shots by 25% once per weapon for 5 rounds. So he gives you more shots if the other ship has a hull breach, and he himself can cause that hull breach. So that's a very nice combination. And I talked about this before. For quite some time already on my last server, the PvP crew with Lorca was the ultimate thing until they introduced 3 new crews. And one of them was the crew with Gul Dukat as captain. And that was Gul Dukat with Damar and Garrick. And that was one of the 3 ultimate crews then from that point when Deep Space Nine came into the game. The other one was led by Vayun, and the third one by Strike Team La'an. And those were the 3 on different ships. The one was for an explorer and the other for a battleship, and Gul Dukat was there for interceptors. And that was the ultimate thing at the time, until they brought in Freeman. But the 3 old crews are still very good, although they also got changed when they introduced lower decks. As I said, it was Gul Dukat, Damar and Garrick. Now you have to replace one of them, and I replaced Garrick with, wait a second, they all had to be replaced. I guess it was Andy Billups. The ship is out at the moment, so it's the Interceptor one. That's the Interceptor Strike Team thing that you see on the bottom. And now you have to use Gul Dukat with Damar and lower decks officer, and I think it was Andy Billups. But that's easy to see. The one for the interceptors is the one to put with Gul Dukat. They got changed because of lower decks, but they're still very important. Of course, the Freeman crew is now the best PvP crew, but the Gul Dukat crew is, aside Weyoun and Strike Team La'an, still top of the notch for your other ships. In incursions, we will have an incursion very soon again, according at least to the publications of Scopely. And for the next territory season, for other events, I mean, they still want to come up this year with this arena thing. And so Gul Dukat is one of the most important PvP officers in this game. Of course, as an epic officer, he has officer traits for away team assignments. He's a diplomat, manipulative, or calculated if you unlock that. But as you can see, I didn't unlock very much. I just spent something for an event that was just spending those points. But I'm not using him for away teams, of course. I'm using him on one of my ships for PvP and nothing else. That's what I'm using him for. And for some time, it was really difficult to get him. If you weren't there when the arc was on with Deep Space Nine, where you could get Gul Dukat, it was really hard because in some very rare events you had the chance to get him. Nowadays it's easier since we have Section 31. Because in the Section 31 store you find those, let's say, old 3 PvP crews, the La'an crew, but also the Gul Dukat crew. For La'an, Gul Dukat, and for Weyoun, you have to have a reputation as a handler with Section 31. Garrick and Damar you can get earlier, one step before that, but you have to be handler to be able to get shards for Gul Dukat. So if you don't have him yet, you will have to wait until you get your reputation with Section 31 high enough to be able to get him here. But you see, one shard costs 2,240 of those wave credits and the Section 31 credits. And so he's not quite cheap, and you need, don't know what the beginning was, if it was 50 or something. You see, I still only have 52 of them. But when you have him together with the other 2 officers you need on the bridge, he's a really good asset. Of course, the Freeman crew is more important. That's also the reason why the only one here in the shop, that's Carol Freeman, that you only can get at Spy Master, because that's another step further in the reputation and not at the same time as Weyoun and Dukat and Strike Team La'an, because she is now the ultimate PvP crew captain. But the others, as I said, are still great. And I would like to know your opinion about Gul Dukat and his crew for PvP, or if you use him for something else. I don't, but you may. So please let me know in the comments under the video. And if you have questions in general or video requests, you know that I regularly read the comments, of course. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.